Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Welcome back to another episode of I Am Home. It's Tyler Weiskup here, recording from NFM headquarters. I've got Hilary Woltemath with us.
Hey.
Hi, Hilary, and Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, welcome. And today we're joined by football defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa. He's going to be talking about football, growing up, his home, and so much more. But before we get to that, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast. And that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. Learn more at nfm.com. And we're on officially with Osa. Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Oh, of course. It's our pleasure. Let's just introduce you to our audience a little bit in case people don't know you. I think by now they'd be surprised not to, but if that is the case, but let me tell the folks a little bit more about you. So Osa is a defensive tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Growing up, he attended David Douglas High School in Portland, where he was really a standout player, as well as grades. I think we were like just the max on all that kind of stuff. Then he continued his football journey at UCLA, showcasing versatility as a defensive lineman. And in 2021, he joined the NFL draft and was selected in the third round. Osa's talent and dedication was recognized, being selected by the Dallas Cowboys. So he's a superstar on and off the field, active in the community with his family. There's really so much to get into, and I think we'll just kind of dive in to learn a little bit more about you. So I'd love to kick things off, if we could, by talking about the thing that everybody is talking about. No, it's not the conference championships. It's not the Super Bowl. Osa, it's your Instagram post collection of all your 2023 best outfits for your game day arrival. I feel like everyone's talking about these. You just look so fantastic and suave. I'm going to cue our producer to pull this stuff up so that I can show my co-hosts just how awesome and amazing that you look in all this stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So, of course, I feel like you're... Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you want to talk about these a little bit?
I didn't know everybody was talking about this.
Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, I love how your range. You've got the elevated classic look to like a little bit more of your grunge. We've got some sophisticated. It's really all trend forward. You always look great. Can you tell us why style and fashion are so important to you?
It's just fun, especially when it comes to like making custom pieces. It's fun to just like have a creative outlet like that and just style myself in different ways and like put different outfits together.
Yeah. Excellent. So a lot of these are actually custom pieces that you have had made.
Not, it was like one of those ones that like actually two of those ones that you scroll through. It was like the collage of like me and my teammates. That one was custom, and then that's I had made as well.
Well, speaking of more of the custom, some of your best looks, and Scott, you can kind of pull these ones down for now, but some of your best looks of the year are from very close to home. They're custom crocheted outfits from your incredibly talented mother. And just to describe them to the audience, we've got one that's like black and green accents. It even had pants as a part of it. So your mom has like a whole line of this kind of stuff, these custom crocheted outfits.
Not really like a line. She just has stuff that she's made. She makes like everything to order. So
okay.
I just figured the best way for me to just like showcase her talent was have her make me something for pregame, and she did a really good job.
Yeah, I was curious if you had requested them. But it sounds like, just you probably saw your mom putting this stuff together and you're like, hey, let me get on that.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think you'd be able to make? I'm like, can you make pants? Like,
yeah.
I just started asking her, and then she started taking my measurements. And from there,
the rest is history.
Yeah, that was it. Like,
yeah. Well,
it took a little while, but
sure, it takes a while. I mean, imagine a custom crocheted piece is going to take a minute, especially.
I'm like, man,
a man,
Can't risk
a
quality.
football player. Yes. I mean, you're not like if it was me, it's like I'm 5'7", 5'8", so that would probably take a little bit less time.
Yeah. When she went through a lot of fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That's so cool.
If you weren't going to bring this up, I feel like I have to as well in this whole edition of us talking about like how stylish and fashion forward you are. You actually hit the runway at Dallas Fashion Week. Scott, we've got a picture of this too. Do you have any plans or aspirations for your future in the modeling industry? Because I feel like if for whatever reason football ended, like you would just immediately walk onto the runway.
I don't know about immediately, but definitely is just. I mean, it's another fun thing to do. Just kind of getting my toe in the water as far as like modeling and stuff like that. I feel like it would segue nicely. Just being able to like wear my own stuff, just get a little practice.
Yeah.
Walking and like showing someone else's stuff. This is Chrissy King doing like swimmer and stuff like that. But if I would ever get into, doing my own clothing, wouldn't need to search for too many models because I feel like one, just big and tall clothing is hard to find.
Right.
So model one, Osa, and then I feel like the rest sell. I mean, it sells itself at that point. If you're wearing it, I think people are buying it. You look fantastic. Let's
That's
just
so cool.
100%.
Well, now we have to, of course, talk, and we want to hear your thoughts on the Cowboys season. No, it wasn't exactly the result you were hoping for, and as a Cowboys fan, not the result I was hoping for. But we know you've expressed a lot of gratitude despite all of that. So reflecting back on the year and the season, is there anything you'd like to express to the fans who are continuing to kind of show support through both victories and challenges in the playoffs?
I appreciate the ones that's supporting us and staying faithful. That's for sure. That support isn't lost on me at all. Like, that's part of the reason why I'm working hard. It's why, like, me and my teammates, I'm going to put in a lot of work this offseason just so we can try and get a different result,
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like just with the amount of work that you put into the season and the amount of work, I mean, I know that was a goal for you for 2023 was just improvement for yourself. And I feel like that's probably, team effort, like you said, not the exact result that you want, but you have to kind of look at the things that you were able to accomplish and being able to improve year over year is something that I think, especially from what I can tell about researching you, is incredibly important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
I feel like if I'm always getting better, then everything else kind of takes care of itself.
Definitely. And I feel like you bring people along with that from what I can tell as well as, pushing your fellow teammates, like looking at your time at UCLA, being a leader in your final season there and kind of bringing folks along. And I imagine you've taken that approach into your professional career as well.
Definitely have. I feel like if you're helping others, you're helping yourself. You know what I mean?
100%.
As far as just like giving back any teaching or like going over any knowledge that you have and sharing that with other people, like
right,
it's just further reinforcing it,
Yeah. I get that. I like it a lot. One of the questions that we're always curious about, this is a little bit of a pivot, but it kind of related, is are you specifically a superstitious player?
I wouldn't say superstitious, but I have like routines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through?
Yeah, like
what your
I have
routine's
a
like?
long routine. Like I gotta make sure my hydration's right.
In the part of the
like
fashion had your
giant
gallon jug.
Yeah, like need to get a gallon in before the game. Make sure like the hydration leading up to that point is good. Nutrition, need my carbs like oatmeal or like pasta or something like that. And I'm probably not eating anything else besides oatmeal or pasta before the game. Like there's things like that I don't really like sway from. But I wouldn't say that's superstitious. I feel like that's just more like knowing my
Just, like,
body
accurate
and
preparation.
Mhm.
yeah, and like having my routine. So
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah, I
like
think
that. And then I feel like
oh, go
having a
ahead.
good outfit always helps too.
Yeah.
Good outfit.
Yeah.
What better way to start the day than by looking good, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, you
Yep.
look good. You feel good.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I hear like so many people talk about like the importance of routine and like there's so many other things to think about. So if you just have this like practice you do every time, that's just like less things you have to think
Yeah,
about
I
and you
mean,
can focus on the
you can put
important
your
stuff.
focus, yes,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
performing.
And then it's like you can kind of use that process as like time to just lock in mentally, as
Yeah.
I'm like taking like a hot soak in the hot tub before the game or like
Nice.
playing a certain playlist that I listen to every time, like just using that to kind of get me in that mindset, because these
Yeah.
are all things that are just like kind of trigger you subconsciously because like you only
Right.
do these things on game day. Not like only, but like say like foam rolling, getting
Mhm.
Yeah.
tempered. I
Right.
typically only like do hot showers and like hot tubbing before game day. Like there's a game day playlist. So stuff like that you only do before the game is something that's gonna kind of like prime your brain and your body just after doing it over and over and over again. It's like, okay, your body will just start to know just by the music that you're playing, like you start to get goosebumps. You know what I mean? Just kind of
Yeah.
getting your
Yeah.
mind and your body ready for game day.
Yeah, just that ritual, just like you said, it just mentally triggers and gets you prepped. And if you have that ritual, that routine, it's going to make it much easier to kind of step in to the game because you're
Mhm.
able to commit to that. And I think it's really smart. Makes a lot of sense.
Definitely.
Okay, well, obviously it's been a real long road for you to get to where you are today. Years of blood, sweat, and tears. And as a fan, it really feels like that you specifically hit the ground running coming into the league. I'm not sure that you feel that way, but looking at it from the outside, it really felt that way for a lot of us. So I'd love to know what's been the most rewarding aspect of playing in the NFL so far.
The most, ooh, I feel like being on a good team is probably the most rewarding part. Um, Being able, and it's like obviously we're reaching for higher heights and like ultimately wanting to win a championship,
Right.
but like being on a good team where like, everyone's you got playmakers on every level, you know, um definitely makes your job easier as an individual, being on the same page, having a great culture and locker room and having the environment that we have in that building is probably one of the more rewarding things. Just making it easy to come in and put all that work in every day and making it enjoyable, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If the culture is right, you're going to feel 100% better going to work every single day. So I feel that a lot.
Mhm.
And spending
Yeah.
so much time
Yeah.
there, like imagine if that culture wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a ton of organizations that way. So I'm glad to hear that it's right, at least in your opinion, at the Cowboys. So, especially as fans. So, I'd love if you could take us back to your early days at UCLA. You were this wasn't something that we were able to fit into the bio because we were trying to get into the episode, but you were a 3-time wrestling champ coming out of high school. But ready to kind of focus your efforts on football. You were a 3-star recruit at the time, following in the footsteps of your brother who played and made it to the NFL. How did you handle that transition from high school to college? Did it feel like a lot of pressure, or like where was your head at when you were making that jump?
I feel like because of wrestling, I was used to dealing with like high pressure situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being in some big matches in high school where it's just me and like one other guy
Mhm.
and the whole gym is dark and there's like a spotlight on just the two of you. I feel like that's about as high pressure. Not like
Yeah, mano a
obviously there's
mano.
bigger stages, but with that same scenario as far as like being a fighter or like being a wrestler in a finals match or something like that. I feel like that's one of the higher pressure situations that you could even be in
Mm-hmm.
because there's not really anyone else out there. It's just
Right.
you and your opponent,
Yeah.
you know. I feel like that kind of mentally prepared me. At least that's how I looked at it. I'm like, I'm ready for
Definitely.
anything now, like in terms of being out there in front of a crowd. That's not something that makes me uncomfortable at all, you know.
You're sharing the spotlight a little bit more now than you were
Right.
before.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah,
Mhm.
that probably like to that point, like a
Uh-huh.
lot less pressure
Right.
if you're
Yeah.
I mean,
you're
there's a lot of guys to
yeah.
watch on the football field
Uh-huh.
versus that one
One on
match.
one.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And you were, just to hype you up even more, like undefeated for what was it, like 3 years?
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's insane.
insane.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not only, winning the championship, but just like undefeated record. I mean, clearly like peak mental state that you have to get in to be able to continue to perform that way. So it makes a lot of sense that like stepping into UCLA, it's just like, hey, this is old hat. The pressure doesn't get to me. So I can see that a lot. I also read that you oh yeah.
I was gonna say, not to say that like it doesn't get to me ever, but like
Okay.
it's just, I wouldn't even say it has anything to do with like the crowd. I would say like, you know, it would just any anxiety just stems from just the fact that like you can't ever guarantee whether you're gonna win or lose, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you have a lot less control over that playing
Yeah.
football than you do like wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
That's true.
That's a really good point.
Got it. Yes. The idea that you are superhuman and will always win and don't like feel like the pressure. That's I will take that back and add that added nuance for sure. So that makes a lot of sense. I read that you returned a fumble, 51 yards for a score. I think it was in your sophomore year at UCLA. How many times have you scored in your career?
Just that time.
That was the time. That's pretty
Really?
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, that probably was an amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I mean, we lost that game, so like it kind of was, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't as good as it could have been
Sure.
because we were not winning.
Yeah. To like recover a fumble and run
Right.
over half of the football field to score.
That would have sealed the deal
Yeah.
for sure. But
It
still
was great, but it's like
yeah.
Yeah.
Would have made
Yeah.
it just that much greater.
Yeah.
that would have been
Uh-huh.
The cherry on
on
top if you
top.
could have
Yeah.
won. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I can feel that. So I know that you played every position, pretty much every position on the D line. Like we talked about, you were a leader, serving as a mentor at that time, among other accolades. But you were. What I find interesting is that you were trying to get into the NFL. It was kind of really during the height of COVID, and that had to be a really crazy time. I'd love if you could share some of your perspective on, training and trying to stay safe and healthy during that time frame, and the whole process of being at the height of COVID at the time that you were at.
I just tried to take the positives away from it.
Yeah.
I just knew I'm like, we're gonna come back and start playing football eventually.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not right now, like I'm gonna be back playing football like at some point here pretty soon, whether it be like at max is gonna be a year that I'd have off, but I'm gonna take like full advantage of that year and try and just use it to get better and make sure that when we do start playing football again, I'm absolutely ready for it.
Yeah. I know that like staying in shape, like one of the things that you were doing, like Pilates and boxing was like a really big thing for you around that time as well.
Pilates was just this off season that I started doing this.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, during that time it was just a lot of boxing, a lot of drills, and then just stretching on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Like clearly like being prepared and like continuing to train and get better. I mean, that's just something that came up a lot when I was researching you. So I
It's like a level of discipline that
Yes.
a lot of people don't
Mhm.
have, but
Mhm.
obviously, which that helps you get to,
Yeah.
you know, the
When
professional
other
level
people
that
were
you're at.
baking bread, you know,
Yeah.
you're in the boxing ring continuing to train. So
Man,
I thought,
that was kind of what I was hoping too. I'm like, man, I hope that anyone out there that I might face right now is just thinking that we're not going to come back and they're using this as an opportunity to take a break.
Yeah.
And I'll just be over here training and getting better and making sure I'm in great shape. So that when we're back, like I can take advantage of this time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it worked out for you, I would say.
Osa was working on his fitness. Well, we
Got
want to talk.
to.
We want to talk about your mom again. She just sounds like an amazing person. And besides her great crocheting, she runs the Odighizuwa Foundation with you and your brothers, which is actually inspired and really dedicated to all the hard work she put in to give you and your brothers a good life and the opportunity to have success. And it's all about maximizing the potential of single parents and their children. So can you tell us a little bit more about your mom and the work that goes into that foundation?
My mom, she's an amazing woman. You know, and that's kind of the reason, not kind of, that's like the reason why I work so hard just doing what I do is because like growing up knowing what she sacrificed for me and my brothers to be able to make it to this point and just things that she gave up as far as like time and just always making sacrifices, making hard decisions and doing a good job of making sure that we could still grow up and be kids and not have to stress. Um, that's the reason why I want to be able to like support single parents because I know that there's not really anybody that's looking out for them most of the time. They're doing everything that they can to make ends meet for their kids, but they don't really have anybody that's out there, looking out for them and trying to support them and just make sure that they're appreciated as well.
I think it's such a worthy cause and clearly a personal one. So I'm so glad to hear that that's something that you and your mom and your brothers and it really kind of seems like a family affair for you all to kind of work on together. And the things that you guys are doing with like the turkey giveaways and movie nights and like all sorts of things, it's really pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I'll be curious to see like how well it progresses over the years and you can get, I know you're talking about scholarships and all sorts of additions to the foundation. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be great. I'm so excited to kind of see where things go with it.
Thank you.
There's really no easy transition for this next question that I have to ask you. So I'm just going to ask you, what's the story behind you being born on a pile of clothes in the bathroom? This was like an NFL fact that had come up with a little video that you had put together as a rookie.
Yeah. Okay, so my mom said she thought she was having contractions, but like when she went to the hospital, they had sent her back home.
Oh.
And then like after a little while of her being back home, I just fell on a pile of clothes.
That's like a movie plot. That is not real life. That's out of a movie.
It doesn't feel like a real life thing. That's so funny. But you had said in that post that this may explain why you like fashion so much.
Yeah, that was just me being funny.
A full circle moment, huh? I love that.
Well, if it's not true, I think it makes sense. Okay.
It tracks,
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I can make the logical leap. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about your brothers. You have 3, and Scott, we've got a picture of all you cuties.
Oh my gosh!
Look at you guys.
So adorable.
I know that you guys are very close, and we talked about your wrestling. I'm curious, was this the reason that you got so good at wrestling? Just kind of keeping up with
3
of them?
Yeah, a little bit of that, and then
It
I had
helped.
some really, really good coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I got to high school, I had some really good coaching
That makes
because the
sense.
two of us in the front were the two that wrestled, and the two of us in the back were the ones that played basketball.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. So you guys had the sports covered with football and wrestling and basketball. Did you have a baseball player in there too?
Nah, track.
Track.
We all
Okay.
did track as well.
Got it.
Well, even number, you're able to pair up, play together, one-on-one basketball, one-on-one wrestling.
We're
How
too
would you,
far apart besides like I only got to wrestle with the one in the front. He was a senior when I was a freshman,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and he had actually won state my freshman year. So like I kind of had a solid example
Yeah.
to just start off, and then from there I kind of started doing my own thing my sophomore year, and from then on,
the undefeated streak?
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. And
Well,
my
this is
oldest brother had played for the Giants. He went to UCLA, so his first year at UCLA
right.
was my first year ever playing football. So like I had some really good examples to
Oh,
follow
sure.
after when I
Yeah.
was growing
Wow.
up as far as like playing sports.
Yeah. It really kind of like helped. It feels like you were able to kind of take all the best lessons from your brothers. And I know that like they've been pretty influential in helping to kind of mentor and help you through some of these these life things that you've gone into. How would you describe your relationship now?
We're good, like you know what I mean? Like we're still pretty close.
Yeah.
As we get older, everyone gets busier. So it's not like we're just there talking to each other every day, but like I tap in with my brothers quite a bit. Um, you know, and just reflecting on like everything that they did, I feel like the main takeaway is just like showing me what was possible, you know?
Yeah. Just leading by
You don't
example.
really, you know, exactly just having someone in your family that's doing things at a very high level,
Right.
and me just knowing I'm like, okay, like we have the same blood in our veins. Like I don't know if I'm gonna grow up and be exactly that big, but like it's just showing me like everything that's possible if I work hard,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I love that. Well, Scott, we can stop embarrassing him, but I had to show
No,
that.
I
I
think
had to
it's
show that
so
picture.
cute.
You guys look great.
No, it's not
Red and
embarrassing at all.
white.
Oh, good, good. Did your mom have a favorite between the four of you? Or did she
Nah.
play favorites? No, of course not.
I mean, I got babied a little bit just because I was the youngest, but like again, like we're kind of everyone. My oldest, the one closest in age to me is like 3 years older than me. So like
Yeah. Okay.
everyone was hitting puberty like well before I was gonna get there. So you know, sometimes she had to
So yeah,
step
I
in
mean,
Step
yeah,
in.
Look
Yeah.
out for you a little
Yeah.
bit.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Well-
she must have been very busy attending all of those sports events too.
Yeah, I know that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
But
speaking
it
of,
was
go ahead, Elsa.
my bad.
No,
It
you're
was
good.
it was hard. It was hard for her to show up to like all those things because she was
Yeah.
working a lot.
Yeah.
I know that came up in the story. Like your older brother was kind of helping to kind of like get you guys to school. I think that was like a big thing, like cooking on the George Foreman grill, that kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The George Foreman.
Yeah.
man.
A
Good
kitchen
old George
staple,
Foreman
right?
grill. It
Yeah.
was. And then
Uh-huh.
like everyone needed like a little griddle too.
Yeah.
So you
Is
could
he
make
still
like
kind of
4
like the?
pancakes on there at once.
Oh, I love
Uh-huh.
that. I love that. Is he still kind of the cook of the group? Like if you guys got together for a cookout or anything like that, would he be manning the grill?
Nah, probably be the brother closest in age to me, the one that was
3 years.
next to me in the front. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious.
He's-
Are there any school activities that you were into? We talked about a lot of them, track and wrestling and football. Are there any activities that people would be surprised to know that you were into? Like, were you in a Glee Club or something like that?
Nah, I wasn't.
No. Any other activity? Or were you just pretty focused on
Sports.
the sports?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I was
Um,
a student athlete through
well,
and through.
Yeah, you talked about like some of the coaches that you had and having really good mentors in your life. Is there anyone specifically that had a significant impact on you, and maybe a story behind like how like you talked about from wrestling, for example, bringing you up? Is there anything that comes to mind when it comes to the teachers and coaches in your life?
There was a few. You know, there was quite a few, I'm not gonna lie, but there was a lot of lessons that I just learned through practice, a lot of conditioning that just instilled mental toughness into you, like and discipline, not missing, not they wouldn't really allow me to miss ever.
Sure.
And then just showing me that they care, like coach, they'll give me a ride every day,
Oh, yeah.
from practice in the morning, Coach Dorning. He'll pick us up, take us to tournaments. Sometimes he'll buy us breakfast and stuff, just being there, really being like a father figure. Coach Carradine, another one like that as well. Like when my mom's sister had passed and she had to go back to Nigeria for
Shoot.
like, she had to go back to Nigeria for like a month.
Wow.
He let me stay at his house like the whole time, him and his wife.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big thing for a coach to do.
It is, but like what an impact.
Yeah.
Like there's other people that can show up for you besides your family, which I feel like and obviously make a big impact on your life.
And especially just in the situation, like I was saying, like with my mom being a single mother, like,
right.
They really showed a lot of love.
I love that.
Me too.
And that's part of the reason why we're doing the foundation as well, because it's like, without people like that, our story is different. So, wanting to pay that forward as well.
Yeah, I love that. So you touched briefly, but can you talk a little bit more about the role that some of the mentors have played in shaping who you are now and the impact that they've had on you?
Yeah, I mean, just being there to challenge us, like me and my brothers, just being there for us and just like sacrificing time, resources, like giving us rides, feeding us, like I said, challenging us on and off the field just to be better people,
Setting good examples, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, the big thing that comes up for me too is like showing you what's possible, I feel like, as well. I mean, like you said, your brothers being able to kind of be that role model in your life of seeing that in wrestling and in football. And I can imagine, seeing that in coaching as well, just seeing the kinds of people that can, be caring and lift everyone up around them, helped inform a lot of how you play and how you help bring people into your circle today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So part of the same rookie fact video thing that you put together talked about your childhood home, which is definitely a topic that we love to get into. Having that built around the time that you were in elementary school. This was in Portland. Does your mom still live there?
No, she actually lives out here with me in Texas now.
Okay.
Nice.
Good. So I'm curious to know, what do you remember about the house that you grew up in, though? The furniture, the art on the walls, your room, anything like that.
I remember that layout pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. You'd walk. It's kind of like a narrower house, like a townhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You'd walk in. To the right would be the TV and like the living room setup. Everyone's facing the TV. There's a couch here, right here, and then there's another couch. So there's like 3 couches. Computer desk is right there to the left, and there's a bathroom right there. You walk past the living room with the 3 couches to the kitchen and the dining room.
Sure.
You got like a back porch back there. Staircase was on the left. And
you got this floor plan.
Yeah,
you go up. Yeah, I mean, I lived there for like 10 years.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. You could walk through it with your eyes closed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Built
was
it all
the
out pretty well.
what was there like a special room or like an area of the house that that really felt like yours?
I mean, I started out sharing a room with my brother, the one that was 3 years older than me,
Yeah.
when we were little, and then by the time we got to high school, we each had our own room.
Nice.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
You don't want to share it
That's
in
about the
high
right time.
school.
So
Definitely not.
tell us what your room looked like when you were able to have your own space.
I just moved to my older brother's room,
Okay.
so I just had like a little bit bigger of a bed, clothes. I mean, it was just like a basic setup. I'm not gonna lie, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
When
You
I
weren't-
moved to my oldest brother's room after a couple years, like I had like a desk now,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that was nice to have a desk, but it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have any posters on the wall?
Nah, not really.
No.
Pretty straightforward. I mean, you're just trying to get from bed to it's just utilitarian. It sounds like you're getting everything
much.
you need. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
go
we
ahead.
hung up like medals and stuff like that from wrestling
yeah.
tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay. See, that's the flavor
That
we're
was
talking
nice.
about. Is
Uh-huh.
like the
that
personal.
wasn't in
touch.
my room though. That was just like
Oh.
downstairs. We had like a little
Oh, you need a
trophy stand.
more public display.
Yeah, I
Had
love
to show it
that.
off to the rest of the family. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
But my older brother wrestled too, so it was like a joint thing. And
Okay.
then my oldest brother, when he went to UCLA, like he'll put like his helmet on there and stuff like that. So it's kind of like all of us had like a little space on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet your
Yeah,
mom
that's
was
fun.
so proud.
Yes.
Yeah. Have like the family trophy case. I kind of like that.
That's cool. Well, speaking of building homes, we know you made some recent updates to your place in Dallas. Had some patio furniture, dining room, and I think a new recliner. Did you have a favorite part of the process with your Dallas home?
I know we've got some pictures of that as well.
The recliner is probably my favorite part. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
The patio furniture is really good. Second favorite part,
Got
probably.
like a pretty modern looking furniture set there too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
awesome.
There you go.
There's the recliner. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's great because it's positioned right there, like in front of the window. And I think my house is like east or west facing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it's like north facing, so then I get like sun from that side of the
all
window.
time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lighting looks
It looks
great in this
Good
picture.
lighting in
really,
this,
really
yeah.
nice.
You just get to sit there and bask in the sun. And my mom has a little Yorkie. He just
Oh,
loves
no.
to like run
I love
up
that.
and hop on the couch and just lay in the sun.
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh.
I like to do that too.
Charlie loves golden hour.
Yeah. Don't we all? Well, did you have a least favorite part of the process with furnishing your home?
I just hate moving.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Moving
It's
is
a lot of
just the
work.
worst part. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Mm-hmm. You never really realize how much stuff you have until you have to move it.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, you know what? I need to just start finding more long-term places to stay. 'Cause I don't like this.
Trying to do that every couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
that's-
pain.
It is.
No, it's not it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
pre-draft, like you're pretty much living out of a suitcase
oh,
for
jeez.
7-8 months.
Sure.
And that's a long time to live out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You please stay in Dallas as long as you possibly can. Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Well, is there a room in this house or a design feature that you think represents you best?
I'm still kind of decorating. I'm not gonna lie, just kind of laying out everything. I got the furniture, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've gotten to personalize it too much outside of the furniture.
Yeah.
Haven't really
A lot
gotten
to
into
take on.
the decor.
It is. It takes a
And then
long
during
time, I feel
season
like.
2, I moved into
Yeah.
my house like during fall camp.
Right.
Right.
So there's been a lot going on.
Maybe not the top of the priority list
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
season.
It's a forever project.
Mhm. It's never done.
You know?
It's
That's
a
the fun part
process.
about it. Is I get to take
Uh-huh.
my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of aesthetic you're going for? Do you have like a Pinterest board? Are you kind of that nerdy about it, or
Nah,
is it all in your head?
it's all in my head.
Yeah. What is there anything that you'd share, like what you want your house to reflect from your personality?
I do want like cool art on the walls,
Mm-hmm.
like some cool posters and stuff, like
Yeah.
rugs. I know some like people you wouldn't think like a rug could be like a wall decoration,
Right.
Oh yeah.
but like they got some cool like just some of the smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like hanging those up.
Yeah, I think
They're
it
soft. You can kind
be
of like touch
another
them too.
another creative outlet for you, like with your like thinking about like
Fashion
the
stuff.
fashion,
Yeah.
like taking that into your home. I think that's gonna. I'm excited to see what you do, and like with the use of like color in your style. I think.
And textures too,
Yeah.
just from like the different, I mean, the crocheting that your mom's got and all the
Mhm.
different outfits that you put together. I feel like I saw a lot of interesting texture as a part of that too. So like you're saying with rugs, either on the floor or on the wall, and the different
Mhm.
kinds of pillows that you can do, I feel like you're going to be able to really shine just with your interests, which I don't know that all football players that comes as naturally. I feel like this might be something that you could stand out on your list of already incredibly long accomplishments on your resume.
Mhm.
I could see going really, really well for you.
Thank you.
Well, one of the things that I'm always curious about is, do you have any like family heirlooms or things that your mom passed down to you? I know your mom's with you with the Yorkie. Is there anything like that as a part of your home design today?
My mom has like some wooden carvings, some Nigerian
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh,
old
cool.
carvings that she's had for like as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So those might be a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
for
describe
sure.
them a little bit to us?
I mean, there's one right outside. If you guys don't mind me stepping away, I could go grab it real
Oh
quick.
yes.
Let's do
I'd
it.
love to see
Let's
Yeah.
do it. I'd love to
Yes.
see it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. And for the podcast listening, we're pausing for a second so you can pull up this Nigerian statue thing. It's going to be really cool. So, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Oh yes.
That's gorgeous. Wow.
That is so cool.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I'm just describing it for the podcast listener. It looks sort of like a
mask.
typical mask that
Yeah.
you might see. It's got
Yeah.
dressing on the top and on the maybe a big necklace on the bottom. It's really
a lot
beautiful.
of detail.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very detailed. It's kind of a brownish in color. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. And like I said, like these are, I don't even know how old they are. Like had them for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely an heirloom.
Yeah.
That's worth incorporating into the design. I think that'll be cool.
Me too.
So curious, off the field, do you have any interests, hobbies, and how do you go about balancing, that your other interests in your personal life with being a professional athlete?
I feel like, well, I have like a lot of things that I like to do. There's different activities. I wouldn't say I have like a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to go out and try new things and like hang out with friends. I kind of grown into like a little bit of a gamer just as far as like different story mode games and stuff like that. But I like to travel as well.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled?
I haven't been too many places. I'm trying to take more trips this year.
Okay.
Well, I want to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be tracking your Instagram so that we can see the beautiful pictures that you take when you travel there. So
Share with the fan club.
Yes.
definitely 100%.
I
We need
got
to,
you.
I appreciate that. We need to start wrapping things up, but I do have a final question for you. You're famously a Dragon Ball Z fan. They're always transforming and training in Dragon Ball Z, reaching new heights. I feel like it feels very synonymous with you. Any idea what Osa's final form might be if you're a Dragon Ball character? Is there like a goal in mind?
I'm a Dragon Ball character. My ultimate, I don't know. I guess that final form for me, like on the field, is just being like, want to be one of the best, if not the best, Yeah.
So that's the goal. Final form, Osa dominates all of defense, NFL history all time.
I like it.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm sold.
Yep.
Me too. Yeah. All right. Well, go Super Saiyan out there the next time that you're playing, and
Yes, sir.
we'll be looking for it. We'll be looking for it. Thank you so much for doing this. It's been really fun. How can people stay connected with you specifically and with the team?
With me, you can just follow me on my Instagram. It's at Osa Goes Hard. The team, Dallas Cowboys on Instagram as well, or social media is Dallas Cowboys. And if you're looking for any foundation stuff, you can go to odighizuwafoundation.com for information as far as like if you want to give to the foundation or contribute at all, just see what we're about. odighizuwafoundation.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much again for doing this. I want to thank Becca, Hilary, and of course our producer, Scott. And thanks to our listeners. And remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the I Am Home podcast wherever you listen. Then head over to nfm.com to shop 24/7 for today's top furnishing styles. Till then, remember, home is what you make it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Woltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.